Hello, Booktube, and welcome back. So, I'm feeling better now from over the weekend. I had a head cold, man flu. Don't worry, I've got over it. But I've still got a bit of a dry throat and a bit of a croak going on. So, I've got myself a handy pint of water here. I know, water, and what's life come to? And a nice hobgoblin glass. One of my favourite ales in the UK is Hobgoblin. Oh, it's from the Witchwood Brewery. I love them. So I thought I might do another look back video. This is when I look at the books that I read 1 year ago, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago in whatever particular month. So it'll be December 2024, December 2020, and then December, if I can get my math right, 2015. I do this by just looking at Goodreads. Now, not all my books I put on Goodreads, so it's just a splatter of things. So, but it's the best I can do, right? So, without further ado, usually in December as well, I kind of cool it a bit on the reading and just enjoy the festivities. But who knows? Sometimes I might go mad. Let's see. Oh, me froze. So, just loading up Goodreads now. Let's see what I read in December 2015. So the first one that's picked up here is The Fires of Heaven. I believe this is book 5 on the Wheel of Time. So this is, I think I quite liked Fires of Heaven, and the next one, The Lord of Chaos. It's then I think it goes downhill until book 10, Crossroads of Twilight, which is one of the worst fantasy books ever. But I think in this one is Rand is like the main character. He's like the major protagonist, but he's going slightly crazy because the male side of magic is tainted with corruption, and he's still trying to get used to his use of his. He's still trying to get used of all his abilities, and trying to get away from his advisors. And I think in the background as well, in Tal Varon, is that what's called, Tal Varon? The Aes Sedai city. I think there's been a. I think there's I think the. Oh, what's her name? Elaine. Is it Elaine? Oh, no, it's Rand. Oh, Elida. Is it Elida? I think it's Elida. She's become the new head of the city, and the last one that was disposed. And so that's going on, and the Shadow Aiel is also starting to attack the desert people, are starting to attack the west. So all this is going on while Rand's trying to get a grips with his magic, and it's fairly well done. A lot of the Wheel of Time is probably one of the first ones I actually picked up in fantasy after the Lord of the Rings. I think it's kind of dated right now, and there's many more better fantasies out there than the Wheel of Time. But Fires of Heaven, it's all right, and I also enjoyed the bit of the battle at the end between Moraine and Lanfear too. It's all right. It's all right. Next one is. Oh, that's by Robert Jordan. Sorry. So this next one's by Brian Daly. These are the Han Solo adventures. So this is like a trilogy in a little book. So each book's about 100 and odd pages long. It's not, and I think this trilogy actually got published a year after the very first film in 1977. So there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of guesswork going on here, and I just think I quite like it. I thought it's quite good. It's a Star Wars book, and it's a light-hearted Star Wars book about Han Solo, how he became Han Solo across the galaxy. And I also like the creaky, crazy robot in the series as well, and how Han and Chewie kind of came about. So it happened. It takes place just before A New Hope, Episode 4, and it's all right. Don't expect anything great. It's just a nice little couple of Star Wars stories in one book. Next one, I read The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is the first one in the First Law trilogy. And I love this trilogy, it really is. It's proper grim dark, this trilogy. It's really, really dark. And it's got one of the most interesting fantasy characters of all time, I think, Glotke, who's he's an executioner, he's a torturer. And he's trying to protect the king, King Giselle. Oh, no, sorry, Prince Giselle at this time. And there's so many great characters in this. And this wizard called is it Magni? No, Baez, sorry, it's Baez, isn't it? Who's, when you start the book, you think, oh, it's another Gandalf kind of a character. He's not Gandalf. So it's proper grim dark. They set out on an adventure. Will they complete the quest at the end? It's not your usual fantasy. I think it's really good. I really enjoyed the Blade itself. The fourth one I read in December was Memories of Ice. I think I just talked about this yesterday. This is book 3 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. It's really heavy fantasy, really heavy on military as well. There's big battles in these fantasy series. A lot of magic, a lot of what is going on. You are thrown in the deep end in this fantasy series, but I absolutely adore it. So this is like, there's loads of different races and species getting together to fight back against what's it called? Is it it's not Dominion, isn't it? Like Panin Dominion or something like that. And they're trying to protect the city from this now huge invasion that's going on. And it's all sorts of gods intrigue and stuff like that. It's great. I do love the Malazan. And the bridge burners are really good as well. They're like a little military unit, and they're known for being quite brutal. And I do like the stand they put on towards the end of this book. And I believe this is the one where one of my favourite characters dies as well in the third book of 10. But yeah, Malazan Book of the Fallen is a really, really good series to get into if you're interested in your really long, multifaceted fantasies. The last one I read in 2015 is Wizard in Glass. I think this is a reread. I read the Gunslinger series when I was 18 or 19 first, something like that. This is book 4. The first 4 books he wrote in the 1980s, maybe the start of the 1990s, and then he kind of gave up the ghost for a while with it. I think he took like a 16 year break and then came up with book 5, 6 and 7. And then a few years after that, it's like he wrote a book to bridge the first quadrilogy with the later trilogy. But book The Wizard of Glass is the last one of the quadrilogy, which is they've just defeated the train. The train's clear. Oh, I'll just tell you the end of book 3. But hey ho. But yeah, this is pretty much Roland telling his backstory. Roland's the main protagonist, and he's the gunslinger. And it's basically him telling his life story of how he fell in love, about evil people back then, how he fought back and all it, and how he became a gunslinger. This is, I do love me gunslinger books. Maybe not book 6. I didn't like the end, but yeah, it's highly enjoyable. It's a fantasy, sci-fi, western. It dips its toe in many genres. But it is good, and horror, obviously, because it's Stephen King. But that's it. That's all I read in 2015. So let's jump ahead to 2020. So December 2020. What's the first on the list here? Oh, this is Ursula Le Guin. This is the book of AFC. This is brilliant. This is a brilliant book as well. And I bought the hardback of all the stories of AFC in it, so I've got everything, and then it's basically the journeys of the main character, who's Jed. It's so well written. You think going to these like really, because it was published quite a while ago, the chronicles of it, sorry, the books of AFC, and you kind of go into, I hope the series has held up well, and it has. It is. It's, it reads incredibly well. Ursula Le Guin she is a good author. There's a lot of character developments in this. You'll love it. If you like your fantasy, you'll like your keep on saying the Chronicles, the books of AFC. But yeah, it's really well written series, and it's all about going over to like different islands, and different islands got like those different like cultures, and the dragons in there as well. It's a really good series. If you've not picked up one of the classics of the fantasy genre, which is the books of AFC, go and read them. They're really good. Okay, the next three I might as well lump together. This is continuing, because I think I mentioned them in the previous one of these as well. The Seven Deadly Sins. This is a manga, and typical manga, it goes on for far too long. I think in the Seven Deadly Sins, I think there's 41 books in total. And I read 28, 29 and 30 in December 2020. I do like the Seven Deadly Sins. There's specific characters in the Seven Deadly Sins. It's all about Meliodas and Ban and King and Diane. They're the best characters. All the other characters can go and shut up. But I'm trying to remember what happened in these three books. So I think this is when the princess comes in and a king and her father's being murdered. And it's all about her regaining her memory. And then Meliodas basically coming out with a couple of secrets from his past. He's like a demon. And it all comes out. And it's all about him trying to regain his humanity from what he was. Again, these ones just are focusing on Meliodas. So that's good. So it's not focusing on Merlin or what was his name who turns really strong when he goes into sunlight. So it's like a lion or it's a lion, Leon, whatever. I can't stand them. Oh, King of Arthur. there's a few characters in this. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be focused on them. So this is going to be painful. But yeah, and again, it's a manga, so it goes on for far too long than it should. Okie dokie, the next one I read was by David Eddings. David Eddings did a very famous fantasy from the 1980s called The Belgariad. Really good fantasy series if you want to dip your toe into the 1980s kind of genre. But this one is one of the prequels to the main series. The main series is like 5 and 5. Is there a sequel? I can't remember if there's a sequel or not. But anyway, before any of the main series happens, I think he wrote 2 prequels. One of them I think I spoke about last month, which was Belgariath, who's like the cranky old wizard, god, immortal, whatever he is. And it is history. This one is Polgara. Is it Polgara? Polgara the sorceress, who is his daughter, and her journey and how she put up with a cranky old wizard godfather, and how she became her own woman. Because both these, Polgara and Belgariath, are key influential figures in the rest of the series. So it's basically their backstory, and really interesting read. I do like the Belgariad. Does nothing new, it's typical fantasy, but I enjoy it. I think it's quite good. The next one is by Stephen Jay Gould. He's a very, very famous biologist. And this is A Wonderful Life, the Burgess Shale and the Nature of History. So this is looking just at the Burgess. Am I pronouncing that? The Burgess, is it? I can't see it. The font's too small on the computer. So the Burgess Shale, I think it's called. And it's a section of the earth where there's a lot of fossils, and they're all about 530 million years old. So it's literally, some of the earlier life forms, and it's just going through the life forms that you see there, their ecology, what's next, what was before. Really good. Stephen Jay Gould is a really, really good author and biologist. He's a bit of a ecologist as well, but he can write. He can write. What else did I read? I've got. Just need to take a swig of this. Hang on. Next one, was a very famous science fiction. Really good. This is by Dan Simmons. This is I think it's book 4, and I think book 4 is the last of the Hyperon Cantos, I think. And this is the rise of Endymion. This is when, there's like a crusade going on, and a new messiah has appeared. And I think is it Ayanna or something like that, isn't it? And it's about her traversing the meaning of life through, the universe with I can't remember. He was a convicted murderer back in the earlier books. I can't remember his name from the top of my head. But it's supposed to those two going through, philosophy, basically what it is. And then eventually going back to Hyperon, whatever it is, back from where it all started. And they're being followed by this monster figure who, its name is escaping me. Is it the Sheikh? The Sheikh? You say that twice. Shaky or Sheikh or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And he's fallen along the way. This is a really good sci-fi series, and I believe there's only 4 books as well. So it's not like one of those never-ending series. So it's quite good. It's quite good. Talk about a never-ending series. This is. I seem to talk about these books every time, but I've reread them quite a few times. People absolutely adore this series. This is by Brandon Sanderson. This is The Rhythm of War. This is book 4 of the Stormlight Archive. Now, I think this is where it starts to lose the plot a bit. Oathbringer, the book before that, I thought it was good. It was okay. The first 2 books in the Stormlight Archive I thought was brilliant. This one, it slows down. I found it a bit boring, to be honest. And this is when I think Navani, the main character's wife, is the main character. You understood that in this book. And it's also about Shallan and Adolin. I think that's his name, isn't it? Trying to get some honor sprint on their guard to fight back against this new evil that's going to attack them. Unfortunately, I think this book was a bit too slow. And with all the Brandon Sanderson books of the Stormlight Archive, all of them have got to be over 1,000 pages long. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, there's another Colossus on my shelf. And yeah, I think it's Stormlight Archive, although I will finish it. I think it's going to be a 10-book series, and this is book 4. I hope it picks back up again. I think on the next one I'll talk a little bit more about it as well, because I think last year the last book came out, didn't it? So that is all I read in December of 2020. So let's move on to what I read in December 2024. Sorry. So let's kick off with more anime. Oh, not anime, manga. So this is JoJo Bizarre Adventure, and it is, I think it's part 6, Stone Ocean, and these are volumes 4, 5, and 6. I told you, manga just doesn't know how to stop, and eventually, I stopped this series. I just couldn't do it anymore, and I think it was at part 6 where I was like, I need to check out. So this is getting too samey for me. They should have ended it 2 seasons ago. But this one takes part in a jail, in a prison, and it's all about the JoJo is, what is it? The Lone Star? It's not Lone Star. That's Spaceballs, isn't it? What's the name? Oh, it's going to drive me insane. I think the main character is called Jolene or Julia, something like that. But what's the family name? Or whatever it is. So the family is continually throughout the years. That's just where the series has come from, fighting back against this evil. And this group of books is talking about them investigating, why prisoners are getting turned into meat, and then eventually escaping or trying to escape the jail that they're stuck in. I personally, this is where I give up on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I was just like, I can't do it anymore. The stories are getting a bit too samey right now, so I'm going to check out. So I never finished Stone Ocean Series 6, but all the other series is good. I think the third series is the best. Okay, let's move on. What also group do you stick about? So this is a fantasy trilogy. What's the trilogy called again? I think it's Bloodsworn. The Bloodsworn Saga, I think, and this is by John Gwynne. John Gwynne was known for doing the Faith and the Fallen quadrilogy, which I really, really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. So I picked up this trilogy, and by the looks of it, read this trilogy last year in 1 month. And this is, what's the names? This is The Shadow of the Gods, The Hunger of the Gods, and The Fury of the Gods. And it's very, very Nordic, very Viking kind of based. So it's all about, a person trying to get tribes together, and somebody trying to find their son as well in the wilderness, where all sorts of hijinks are going on. There's a dragon god that's come back, and it's the main antagonist, and it's going to attack and destroy the world. It's one of them. And it's very Viking flavoured, this, so they've all got Viking names, and it's very much a Viking feel. Although enjoyable, this series, I didn't think it was as good as the I've just said it, a brain farted. What did I just say? The Faith and the Fallen quadrilogy. I don't think it's as good as the Faith and the Fallen quadrilogy, but yeah. And I thought, being a Viking book, that's right up my street. I might enjoy that, but I thought it was okay. It just didn't jar well with the characters in this at all. But hey ho, let's see. Let's move on, because I probably will pick up more John Gwynne books, because I really did enjoy the first quadrilogy. The next one is another fantasy, and this is by Brian McKellen. Is it McKellen or Sealand? Oh, sorry, Brian McSeelan, I think his name is, who wrote another trilogy called the Powder Mage trilogy, which I adored. And I think there's also a sequel to the Powder Mage trilogy, which I really, really enjoyed too. So I thought I'd start this new series that he's wrote, and this is The Shadow of Lightning, and it's the first book on the Glass Immortals. I thought this book was so. It's a bit tropey. The magic comes from glass. What's the main character's? I think it's Dima or Dior, something like that. What is it? I can't be bothered clicking. Something begins with D. He comes back to the city after being outcasted. He just leaves, doesn't he? Because of a battle gone wrong, and he comes back because there's a death in the family, and it's all about investigating all the wrongdoings in this particular city and what is going on. So that's the flavour, and the other main character is again, I can't remember her name, who works as a kind of glass maker. She's getting secrets, and but yeah, again, I think it was just a meh kind of a fancy. I thought the Powder Mage trilogy was far better than the first book in the Glass Immortals, but I'm going to continue that series. I don't know if the second book's come out, to be honest with you, but I will look and I will see. Okay, I just saw the two of them, but I might as well lump these two books together. I hate this fantasy series. This is by Terry Goodkind, and it's books 10 and 11 of The Sword of Truth. So this is Phantom and Confessor. Now this is part of a trilogy, the first book being Chainfire, and computer's switching off. So there's been a chain fire spell, and there's two main characters basically. There's Richard, the all-powerful, knowing Richard, who is never wrong and is always right and wins the battle at the end of the day. Just trust Richard, don't listen to anybody else. And Kaelin, his wife. And this chain fire spell is being cast upon the world, which makes everybody bar Richard forget about Kaelin. And that's basically the story. This series is so bad. I really don't like it. It's very preachy. It's so annoying. There's a lot of repetition. At the early books, okay, yeah, that's repeating from the last chapter. And then towards the later books, it's literally paragraph after paragraph, just repeating things at you over and over again. It's like being in a cult. A lot of people like this series. I think I don't like it at all. I think it's bad. And again, it just ends with Richard being right, and everybody should have listened to him. He saves the day. Everybody remembers Kaelin towards the end. It's just terrible book series. I really don't like it. Moving on. The next book I read was by James Shapiro. It's a book, or it's a non-fiction book. I didn't read that many standout books in December last year, by the looks of it. And this is 1599. This is A Year in the Life of William Shakespeare. I was a winner of the Baillie Gifford in 2000. Oh, winner of the Baillie Gifford Winner of Winners Award in 2023. Bit of a mouthful in it. So this is looking at Shakespeare's life in just the year of 1599, about what was going on in London at the time and internationally. And it's also looking at some of his plays and his poems, analysing them as well. And I thought it was okay. I was slightly disappointed in it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of he might have done this, or he might have thought that throughout this kind of biography. There's not much is actually quite known about Shakespeare. And it covers all the major events that you expect from a biography of William Shakespeare. And I've read other William Shakespeare biographies, which I thought was better. That's why I was expecting so much more from the Baillie Gifford Winner of Winners, by the sound of it. But it's good for the analysis behind Shakespeare's plays as well. It's all right. Okay. The next one I've got to scan up, because this is book 2 of the New Jedi Order series. This is by Michael A. Stockpole. This is Dark Tide 1 Onslaught. A lot of the New Jedi Order books, I think, are meh to bad. This one is an okay one. It's not okay. I'm being a bit too harsh here. It's good. It's all right. It's a serviceable Star Wars story, right? So it takes events straight after Vector Prime. There's a invasion going on currently in the galaxy by the Yuzon Fong, which is this alien species who are hell-bent on conquering the galaxy. And it's all about, this one's more about Leia going back to Coruscant, which is like the headquarters of the New Republic, and trying to convince them all of this new bad menace which is now invading the galaxy. And while, other good guys are on the outer rim trying to defend against this invasion by the Yuzon Fong. I think it's all right. It's all right. And the Dark Tide 2 as well, the book after this, is quite good as well. It just loses its plot a bit and gets a bit messy, and the writing gets really bad in some of the other books. As I think there's 19 books in total in the New Jedi Order series, and I think they were all written within 3 years of each other by 8 or 9 authors. So it gets a bit messy. Next one, okay, this is by Jonathan Coe, and this is Like a Fiery Elephant. This is the story of B.S. Johnson. B.S. Johnson was a British writer. I think he published in the early 1970s, late 60s, around there, and he was known as a very avant-garde person towards art and literature. He liked to push literature to its maximum. He was very, very hard-headed person, fantastically intelligent, but really hard-headed and stubborn kind of a guy. But he had his demons as well. He committed suicide. I can't remember what. I think it was a few years into the 70s or the 80s. So it's all about his life, his growing up, his relationship with his wife, relationship with his colleagues, with other artists, and his opinions on everything. Because he was a mixed bag kind of a character. He had very conservative beliefs, and he had very like futuristic ways of looking at literature. Right? He wanted to push it way out there. I've never read any of his stuff, but he can be quite funny and quite in your face, and I think it's a quite decent biography of B.S. Johnson. So pick it up if that sounds interesting. And to finish it all off, this is Brandon Sanderson. This is book 5, the newest book of the Stormlight Archive. This is Wind and Truth. Oh dear. My problem, again, 1,000-page books, and it's the book equivalent of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's so many Easter eggs and so much things happening on. Oh, what's that mean? Oh, you need to read that book to get that thing, and I read this. Oh, you need to read that one over there to get this. So all those books that Brandon Sanderson, not all of his books, but a large proportion of the books that he's wrote takes place in his Cosmere, and they're all interlinked. So you might miss things as you read them. But I think this book, again, didn't need to be 1,000 pages long. It's quite predictable on where it was going. And it takes place over 10 days. So Dalaran is the main character, and he's going to find a way of defeating Odium, because who is the really bad guy. And he challenges him to combat. And it takes place over 10 days, and how he's prepping to beat the bad guy. And yeah, I at this point right now, I think it's a bit lost its way a bit. The Stormlight Archive, it's nowhere near as good as the Way of Kings or the Words of Radiance. So yeah, I think it's lost the plot a little bit. And I've just noticed I'm nearly on 35 minutes. So I'll stop there, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Booktube.